Good morning, Damascus Christian School, and welcome to your ninth episode of the Eagle's Nest, and also the start of the second quarter. This Sunday at church, we heard from an Iranian couple. The gentleman who went by Sam unfortunately underwent significant persecution as a result of his conversion to Christianity. He discussed with us in church how he had been repeatedly beaten and imprisoned and threatened on numerous occasions so that he would stop preaching the gospel and sharing his faith. Our church was recognizing the persecuted church that is constantly under threat for practicing their faith. It convicted me a little bit thinking about what Paul said as well and the hardships that he underwent. Do I take my faith that seriously? Do I desire to follow God with such zeal that I'd be willing to undergo significant trauma, suffering, and hardship? So as you remember the persecuted church, I'd like to encourage you to, in your classes, like I know many of you do, continue to pray for our fellow Christians who live around the world and live under pressure and even torture and imprisonment because of their faith. Students, we had a lot going on with athletics this last week and I'd like to recognize those students for their achievement. First, our cross-country team, where we had 3 of our 4 runners actually get personal best times at their league championships. Our soccer team played down south and finished the year with a 15-2 record and a 3rd place finish in the playoffs. Our junior high girls volleyball team also finished 3rd place in their league playoffs. And our high school varsity volleyball team has made it through the first 2 rounds of sub-state and will be heading to Redmond this next week as they play on Friday and on Saturday for a chance at a state title. I'd like to thank all of the students who came out to the Harvest Festival and so graciously offered to set up or ran booths or helped clean up after that event. If you need to be signed off for those hours in which you volunteered, feel free to find me at some point and I will mark that off on your log sheet. You can also continue to turn in socks and other items for our homeless kit this month and serve in that capacity as well. Students, elementary chapel, will be hearing from Mr. Dearden, our vice principal. Secondary students, you will not be having chapel this Friday. There is no school on Friday. That also means that we will be having no discipleship groups this Friday. Students, a few announcements to go over as well for the end of this week. Those of you who are juniors and seniors, the deadline for many of the college's applications, at least the first deadline, is here in November. So make sure you've been coordinating with Mrs. Dauntless and any of the colleges you've been applying to get those applications in. Also remember that Thursday is a noon dismissal. Friday is a no school day. And we have parent-teacher conferences on Thursday from 3 to 8 p.m. And secondary conferences will be occurring downstairs in the lower hallway. Elementary student conferences will be by appointment. Also, after conferences, feel free, or before conferences even, feel free to head out to Jersey Mike's for a sandwich and a drink. 30% of those proceeds will go back to the school. Lost and gone, these items will be gone at the end of the week. They will be put out on tables through conferences and then they'll be taken to a place for donation. Students, good job with getting some certificates for being recognized for your behavior and for Ravim for being awarded with a cup of coffee or some kind of drink that was 16 ounces from Cowgirl Barista. Have a great week and soar like eagles.